lot of good work for charity, particularly Teenage Cancer Trust. So it's sad to see those associations end. It is, she is very greedy, she is very stupid, and she is very naive, and she's drawn into the predators like Epstein, and she doesn't seem to see that this is a problem, and doesn't seem to listen to people who could advise her that these are not people to get involved in.
Comparing her yet again to Jeffrey Epstein. In a world exclusive, it was revealed that after publicly disowning Epstein in 2011, calling her financial dealings with him a gigantic error of judgment, Sarah privately sent him a gushing note describing the convicted sex offender as a steadfast, generous, and supreme friend. And there's so much to unpack here, so hit subscribe to lock into the community, because we're going from whispers that the £15,000 loan she admitted to was just the tip of the iceberg, to sources who insist the true figure may have been closer to £2 million, to the shocking revelation that charities are now dropping her in droves. The fallout has become impossible for King Charles to ignore. Insiders say the king, who has been determined to slim down the monarchy and protect its image at all costs, is considering the unthinkable, banishing Sarah Ferguson from royal life once and for all. For years, Sarah Ferguson tried to put distance between herself and Jeffrey Epstein. In public, she apologized, expressed regret, and painted her financial dealings with him as a one-off mistake. But the resurfaced email paints a very different picture, one that insiders say is shaking the palace to its core. The message wasn't just polite formality. In it, Sarah described Epstein as a steadfast, generous, and supreme friend. It wasn't the language of a woman cutting ties with a disgraced financier. It was the language of someone who, at least privately, still valued his influence. Sources whisper that what makes this so devastating isn't just the hypocrisy, but the timing. The email was allegedly sent after Epstein's 2008 conviction, meaning Sarah wasn't turned to wealthy men to bail her out, and Epstein was just one of them. Publicly, she attempted to shut the door on the scandal. She gave interviews apologizing for her mistake, promised Charles, who has built his reign on cutting excess and cleansing the monarchy's image. Sarah's resurfacing ties to Epstein don't just look like poor judgment, they look like betrayal. When King Charles ascended the throne, one of his first priorities was clear: slim down the monarchy and remove any trace of scandal. His reign would be about discipline, control, and survival. And nowhere was that clearer than in his treatment of Prince Andrew. After Andrew's disastrous BBC interview and his settlement in the Virginia Giuffre case, Charles moved swiftly, stripping his younger brother of royal patronages, forcing him to step back from public life, and ensuring he would never again represent the monarchy. It was decisive, ruthless, and, according to insiders, necessary to preserve the crown's image. Now those same insiders whisper that Charles sees Sarah Ferguson as another potential liability. While she may not hold royal titles anymore, she remains tied to the firm through her daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, and of course through her continued closeness to Andrew. For Charles, the calculus is simple. If Andrew was cut off for his ties to Epstein, how can describe Sarah's situation as precarious? The king's no-tolerance stance doesn't leave room for sentiment. If he's willing to exile his own brother, weddings, christenings, or social events with high-profile friends, any formal banishment of Sarah would send shockwaves through their world, leaving them caught between just a personal embarrassment. They're a direct threat to the crown's fragile image. Insiders close to Buckingham whisper that Charles has become obsessed with the idea of future-proofing the monarchy. Every move, every decision is weighed against one question, from charity events to children's book promotions to her new podcast where she paints herself as a warm, misunderstood figure with a heart for service that paired her name with Epstein's in bold print. Overnight, she went from quirky royal outcast to a central figure in one of the monarchy's most toxic scandals. Public reaction has been just as divided. In the UK, many see the scandal as proof that the monarchy still protects its own, pointing out the hypocrisy of banishing Andrew while allowing Sarah to continue basking in royal proximity. For critics, it's a double standard the palace can't afford. Accused of criminal behavior. Her crime, they say, is loyalty to the wrong people and an addiction to money she didn't have. Across the Atlantic, the story plays differently. American media, still fixated on royal drama through the